We always get some fascinating sources sent our way, and this week, focusing on health and diet, something really popped out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do a deep dive into this news report
Oh.
about a study. It links a pretty common cooking oil ingredient to aggressive breast cancer.
Yes. I saw that one you flagged from Weill Cornell Medicine, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely worth unpacking.
Exactly. So our mission really is to get under the hood of the study. What's this potential link and, what could it mean for diet choices?
Right. And the core finding seems to be that linoleic acid, it's an omega-6 fatty acid, might actually fuel a really aggressive type of breast cancer.
By activating a specific growth pathway, the report said.
Precisely. So let's dig in.
Okay, first off, that headline. Common cooking oil ingredient linked to aggressive breast cancer. I mean, that's enough to make anyone pause, right?
Absolutely. It hits close to home for a lot of people. You immediately think, wait, what ingredient am I using
Oh,
it?
yeah, exactly.
And the report names it pretty quickly. Linoleic acid.
Linoleic acid. Okay, let's break that down. What is it and where do we usually find it?
So it's an omega-6 fatty acid. Essential fatty acid, actually, meaning our bodies need it but can't make it.
Okay.
The report says it's common in seed oils, think soybean oil, safflower oil.
The usual suspects for cooking oils?
Yeah, very common. And also in some animal products like pork and eggs, apparently.
Hmm. So stuff that's in a lot of typical diets.
Definitely not obscure ingredients.
Right. So this research comes from Weill Cornell Medicine. What did they actually find? Let's follow the trail here.
Okay, so the core is a preclinical study. Important word there, preclinical.
Meaning not in humans yet.
Right. Lab work, animal models. It was published in Science back on March 14th.
Okay.
And the big finding, the headline grabber, is that linoleic acid seems to be able to activate a major growth pathway in tumor cells.
Whoa. So it's like fertilizer for certain cancer cells.
That's a good analogy, actually. The
Yeah.
research suggests that for some cancers, this dietary fat could essentially help them grow faster.
Yeah. Okay. A growth pathway. How does linoleic acid actually, flip that switch?
They pinpointed a specific mechanism. It seems linoleic acid binds to a protein called FABP5, fatty acid binding protein 5.
FABP5. Okay.
And that binding action is what triggers this growth pathway. Think of it like signals inside the cell telling it to divide, multiply. Linoleic acid hits the on button via FABP5.
And the report stressed this was particularly relevant for triple-negative breast cancer, right? Why that specific type?
That's a really critical part of it. Yes, the effect was seen specifically in triple-negative cells.
Okay.
And the reason seems to be that this protein, FABP5, the docking station for the linoleic acid,
Yeah.
it's just much more abundant in those triple-negative cells.
So more docking stations means the linoleic acid has more places to bind and trigger growth in that particular cancer type.
Exactly. It's like the key fits the lock. And in these cells, there are just a lot more locks available.
Makes sense. But are there other things that might affect that binding, or is it just about the amount of FABP5?
That's a good point. I mean, biology is rarely that simple, right? Other factors could certainly play a role in modulating it.
Sure.
But the study showed a pretty strong correlation between lots of FABP5 in those triple-negative cells and this linoleic acid effect. It's compelling.
And the report also mentioned how serious triple-negative breast cancer is, comparing survival rates.
Yeah, it did. That really puts the finding into context.
Yeah.
It mentioned around a 77% 5-year survival rate for triple-negative,
Compared to?
compared to about 90% for other common types of breast cancer, like the hormone-sensitive ones.
Wow. So a significant difference.
A very significant difference. Those other types often rely on hormones like estrogen to grow. This linoleic acid mechanism seems distinct, particularly for triple-negative. It really highlights why finding specific drivers for this type is so important.
Absolutely. And this wasn't just in petri dishes, right? The report mentioned mouse studies, too.
Correct. They moved in vivo, using a mouse model specifically for triple-negative breast cancer.
And what happened there?
Well, when they fed the mice a diet high in linoleic acid, the tumors grew more.
Wow. Okay, so seeing it in a living organism adds another layer of evidence.
It does. It strengthens the case that this isn't just a lab artifact. It provides crucial support.
But still, mice aren't humans, so it's a big step, but not the final word for people.
Exactly right. Animal models are vital, but you always need human studies to confirm things definitively for us.
Got it. The senior author, Dr. John Blness, had a quote in there that seemed pretty key.
Yeah, I remember that. He said something like, this discovery helps clarify the relationship between dietary fats and cancer.
And sheds light on how to define which patients might benefit the most from specific nutritional recommendations in a personalized manner. That's the part that struck me.
Personalized manner, yes.
Yeah.
That's really the goal of a lot of this kind of research, isn't it?
Moving beyond generic advice.
Precisely. Understanding these specific biological mechanisms could, down the line, lead to much more tailored dietary advice for specific patient groups.
Which links back to what the report mentioned about experts already warning about overusing seed and vegetable oils, right? Concerns about inflammation and maybe a cancer link.
Yeah, that broader context is important. There have been general concerns floating around about high intake of certain oils, often linked to inflammation.
So oils like soybeans, safflower, the ones people use a lot.
The very same ones where linoleic acid is prevalent. So you have these general warnings.
And now this study offers a potential how. A specific biological reason linoleic acid binding FABP5 in triple negative cells that could connect the dots.
That's a great way to put it. It moves from a general concern to a more defined potential mechanism, at least for this specific cancer subtype.
Okay, but we need to add the big caveat again, right? This is still early days, preclinical.
Absolutely crucial to emphasize that. This is foundational research. It's exciting. It points in a direction, but it's not grounds for telling everyone to, ditch all their cooking oils tomorrow.
Right. The report used the term overuse, which sounds more like a caution about quantity, not total elimination.
It's about moderation and balance, which is often the case with nutrition anyway. This is an evolving picture.
So think of it as a really important piece of the puzzle found in the lab and in mice, giving strong clues, but needing that confirmation in people.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's a significant clue, especially for understanding the aggressiveness of triple-negative breast cancer.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. The takeaway from our deep dive into this report. New research from Weill Cornell suggests a possible link. Linoleic acid, common in many cooking oils,
Might fuel the growth of aggressive triple-negative breast cancer.
and the how seems to involve it interacting with a protein, FAB5, which is found in higher amounts in these specific cancer cells.
And the real significance is providing that potential biological pathway, which could help explain some earlier, more general concerns about dietary fats and this challenging cancer.
So it really makes you think, doesn't it? Given this emerging science, it prompts reflection on, the balance of fats in our own diets. And what other questions does this raise for you about that incredibly complex relationship between our food and our health?
It definitely underscores the need to pay attention to the types of fats, not just the amount. And yeah, it highlights how much more there is to learn as research like this continues.
Well, thanks again for sending in these sources. Always keeps things interesting. And thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Always a pleasure. And until next time.